try to help you get to your goals, and I call it One More Ball. One of my favorite business quotes is from Henry Ford, and he said, "Obstacles are the things you see when you where you take your eye off of your goal." And in sports, you might hear your coach say, "Keep your eye on the ball." So we're going to follow that through this presentation. So if you have a goal, obviously what you need to do, or at least to increase your chances of getting to your goal, is to create a roadmap to that goal. So what I'd like to help you do is actually create a roadmap to whatever your goal is. And this roadmap literally can be used for anything. So whether it be getting your beach body for the summer, whether it's learning a language, or in this case, new home sales, you can use this, if you will, this process to help you achieve that goal. So the very first thing we have to do, of course, in our roadmap is to identify what is the goal itself. Patrick, can you help me out?
Sure.
Could you come up, please? Oh. And would you mind standing maybe like right here?
All right.
So I am here and Patrick's there. Patrick represents my goal. And in the case of this presentation, and because we sell homes, I'm going to pretend that my goal is to sell 50 homes in 1 year. And of course, I am here and I have to try to get there. Patrick, would anybody say that's a pretty big goal?
Yes.
That's a big goal. Big man, big goal. Chelsea says you cannot eat an elephant whole. You have to dice them up into little pieces so that you can eat them. So that's kind of what we're going to do in this process. So as I said, the first thing we want to do is identify our goal, which is 50 sales per year. The next thing that we want to do is, of course, chart our path there. Most people, when you're standing here and you're trying to get there, they usually try to basically create a path to their goal. Normally, that is very, very inefficient. In fact, you oftentimes start wandering around. It's not the most efficient way to get to your goal. What you want to do is turn that around and actually start at your goal and work your way back. And with that, you want to, where your goal is here, you want to look at the preceding step to each stage as you're going along. So if this is my goal, what is this step here? And then, of course, you want to keep on going all the way back to where you're located. So in my goal of 50 homes per sale, what is that equivalent to, if you don't mind me asking? One per week. Perfect. So one step back from 50 homes a year is I have to sell approximately 1 home per week. So if I'm going to sell 1 home per week, now I have to go one step back. It's like, well, how do I get a sale? And there's one thing that we all have to do, all of us, to get a sale. Anybody know what that one action is?
See a person.
See a person. You have to have an appointment. So what I want to do is say, all right, well, I need an appointment to get a sale. And more specifically, or more probably, it's not just that I need to get an appointment, I probably have to get several appointments. So several appointments will equal a sale in most cases. So I want to look back at my past performance, and you can easily do this. So it's like, how many appointments on average do I see before I get a sale? And like I said, it's pretty easy to get this information. You can just look on your Outlook calendars. Let's just go back like 6 months or so. Look on the calendar, how many appointments have you had? Count that up. You can also go to HubSpot. HubSpot actually has a report that you can generate, and it will tell you how many appointments or meetings you've had in 6 months, a year, whatever the time frame is. So for my example, let's just pretend that whenever I get that information, it's like I've got this many appointments that I've had over the last 6 months. The next thing is, how many sales have I had over that same exact time period? So you take the number of appointments and you divide it by the number of sales, and that will tell you what your average is. So in this example, let's just pretend that for me, it takes 6 appointments on average for every sale that I get. So we've got our goal of 50, we come back, this step here is I need 1 sale per week, and if I need a sale, that means this step, I have to have 6 appointments to get a sale. Now, how do we get an appointment? Anyone?
Pick up the phone.
Pick up the phone, perfect. You can also text, you can email, you can reach out to realtors and things like that. So that information is also very easy to get. It's like, how many phone calls does it take to get an appointment? I think we were all, just this last week, in a phone-a-thon, right?
Yep.
So you got a ton of information from that last meeting that you had. So let's say, for example, during that phone-a-thon, you called 20 people, and let's say that you ended up getting 2 appointments. So what's that average?
10.
So let's just pretend that my average is 10 phone calls equals one appointment. So that's stepping back here. So for me to get from my goal of 50 to 1 a week to 6 appointments, how many phone calls do I have to make? 60. Great, perfect. So we're getting back to where we start from. So if I have to make 60 phone calls, in a week to get 6 appointments, to get a sale once a week to get me my 50, then the next thing I have to say is, all right, well, I've got to put this over time. How long or how often do we work? 5 days a week.
Well,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
So if we need 60 phone calls in a week to get to our sale for that week, how many phone calls do we need a day? 12. So I've literally just created our formula for success, if you will. It literally is just math. You go through, you just bring it back to where you are. And if you execute on it, you're gonna reach your goal. If we were a tech company, this is called an algorithm. Here, we just call it a formula for success. So, the next thing, which is extremely important, same thing with getting your beach body. You have to turn this into a consistent routine. You can't just do 12 phone calls one day and then not do it the next, and maybe do some extras the day after. You have to stay consistent day after day after day, following your roadmap. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, Doug.
Has anyone ever heard of the law of averages? Or know what that is? So, Jamie, if I take a coin and I flip it, what are the chances that it's going to turn up heads? 50-50. Perfect. Half and half. The crazy thing is, I could literally take a coin and flip it 5 times in a row, and all 5 times it could turn up tails. Right? But if you keep on flipping the coin 10 times, 50 times, 100 times, the law of averages starts to kick in. And the next thing you know, 50% of the time it's going to be heads, 50% of the time it's going to be tails. Law of averages also kicks in here too. You can literally call 12 people a day all week and not get a single sale. But if you just keep on at it every day, calling your 12 people, the law of averages are going to work out for you. You're going to get your 1 sale per week, which will eventually turn into your 50 sales for the year. Keep your eye on the ball and don't allow anything to take you away from your roadmap. There was a professor, and in front of the class, he put a big trash can. And he said, this trash can represents your life and everything that you can put into your life. Then he took out a whole bunch of basketballs. And he said, basketballs represent the things that are critical in your life. For example, it could be your health. It could be your family, your friends. Then after that, he took out a bunch of tennis balls. And he said, tennis balls represent the things that are important in your life, but not critical in your life. And that could be, for example, your home, your job, your car, things like that. Then what he did was he brought out a big pile of sand. He said, sand is the day-to-day things that you do that are neither important in your life nor critical in your life. For example, doom scrolling on TikTok. So, the important thing is, we all have basketballs, tennis balls, and sand in our life, but what you don't want to do is you don't want to fill up your can full of sand. Because if you do, you won't have room for your tennis balls, and you definitely won't have room for your basketballs. Don't major in minor things. The individual versus the team. So there was an interesting study that was done where they took a whole group of people up to the base, or to the base of this big, huge hill. And they literally divided the group into half. The very first group of people, what they did was they sent them up one by one, up to climb up the hill. Then after that, they went to the second group and they sent them all up collectively as a group to climb the hill. At the top of the hill, they interviewed every single person as they came up the hill. The interesting thing that happened or came from that is that every single person who went up the hill individually thought the hill was steeper and harder to climb than the people who went up as a group. What we want to do is work as a team, and you want to follow and use your team. If you have any challenges whatsoever, and as I look at this room, there is so much talent in this room and our management. Don't follow or don't face those challenges by yourself. We're all here to work with you and help you. In fact, a couple of things. Thank you for being my goal. I got 2 more of these. Danny yesterday actually helped me out. Unannounced, I had a client who ran on down to her community, and she was very, very helpful for me. So she was wonderful. Jen, I have to call her out too. If you remember from the 14 days of Christmas, we had to nominate somebody who was helpful. So Jen was actually my person for all the help that she had done for me. But like I said, we're all a team here, and anytime if I can help, I'm sure all of you would offer to help to each other. So once again, don't follow or don't face that challenge by yourself. Utilize the team. Mind over body and body over mind. So has anybody ever heard of the term mind over body? So usually what's that's used for is to try to psych yourself out, if you will. And I'm going to do a little experiment with all of you guys, if you don't mind, and we're going to compare the two. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to pretend that we're sitting in our model, and a car pulls up, and people are walking up towards our front door. And of course, we want to try to psych ourselves out to sell these people. So the first thing I want all of you to do, and we're going to do mind over body, is we're going to think positively. The second thing I want everybody to do is to smile. So everybody smile. And then collectively what we're going to do, all 3 of us, or all of us together, is on the count of 3, we're going to say, I will sell this client 3 times in a row. So smile. Ready? I will sell this client. I will sell this client. I will sell this client. Now, who feels charged up? Okay. All right, that's cool. I want to flip this, and let's do body over mind. So with the experiment, we're going to do the same exact thing. So we're going to say 3 times together, I will sell this client. But the difference is, I want everybody to stand. So please stand. And to make it really challenging, instead of smiling, everybody frown. So everybody be frowning. And then in addition to that, we're all going to start jumping. So everybody start jumping. Everybody, jump.
Frowning at the same time.
And so collectively, we're going to say, I'm going to sell this client. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I will sell this client. I will sell this client. I will sell this client. Stop. Now look around. The interesting thing is, and you can all sit down. When we tried mind over body, and I said, do you feel charged up? A few of you felt charged up. On the second time, whenever we stopped and everybody looked around, everybody was smiling. Some of you were actually laughing. Did you feel more charged up?
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. Move your body to move your mind, and not the other way around. So, do we have any baseball fans here? Besides you? Jennifer? Jen? So, question.
Oh, shoot.
Jennifer.
Oh, no.
So you get a baseball.
Okay.
If there is a professional baseball player and he steps up to the plate and he has 10 at-bats, out of the 10, if he hits twice out of the 10 at-bats, if that's how many, his average,
8.
what is his batting average?
He hits twice out of
Out of 10
10,
at-bats
20.
on average?
20%.
20%.
200.
200. So 200 hitter. Jan. Actually, you already have a baseball.
I have a baseball.
Alright. If a professional baseball player steps up to the plate 10 times, or 10 at-bats, and he hits one ball more, he hits 3 out of 10, what is his average? Thank you, Jimmy.
Sorry.
I'll give you a baseball.
It's math, I'm impressed.
So what's the difference?
One's in the Hall of Fame, one's not.
Very close. A professional baseball player that hits 200 or 2 out of 10, he is working, or he is in the minor leagues. Where the minor leagues is the average, or I should say the median income is $58,000 a year. The professional baseball player who can hit one more ball, 300 average, he is in the major leagues, where the median income is $1.7 million.
Told me the wrong job is what you're telling me? I have kids, we're in baseball.
Incremental increases in your performance will yield exponential increases in your success. You just need to do a little bit more.
You have to run. I've seen you run.
So, I hope all this information will help you get one more ball.
Yay.
That's it.